There were many discrepancies, ma'am. Like there were at least 15 discrepancies as per my blog. I would like to highlight three or four of them. The first, let me give a background about Coempt. I think we all have a background about Coempt. That Coempt was named as Globarena, and they have a very shady background. 23 students killed themselves because of Coempt. Now we have that clear. I'd like to tell you about RFP. RFP is request for proposal, and what happens is basically that the government issues a tender. CBSE is a government entity. It issued a tender. It issues a tender and it asks the bidder to bid for it. CBSE issued this tender three times. There were three different RFPs. The first was totally wiped off. The first was wiped off the GEM portal and everywhere. The second one I could find, and it was four bidders applied, and all of them were failed in the technical evaluation. Coempt and TCS happened to have been in them. On 28th August, CBSE releases another tender, and Coempt Eduteck scores that tender. And I have compared both these tenders, these old RFP and the new RFP, on the 2nd May and the 28th August, and I found some discrepancies which I like to share. The first discrepancy is that in the old tender there were three clauses of poor performance, that the service provider, which happens to be Coempt, would be disqualified if they have poor performance. But in the new RFP, it was totally wiped out. The second clause I'd like to point out was a blacklisted loophole. In the earlier RFP, there was a clause called blacklisted earlier. If the it was called blacklisted earlier. In the new RFP, it was changed to blacklisted currently. Why would the board want someone? Why would the board want a service provider which had been blacklisted earlier? The third thing I found out was the 50 crore limit which you needed to qualify, and it was like a 50.86 crores limit. 50 crore limit, and Coempt qualified that by 1.7%. Sri Info Solutions in the pre-bid clarifications asked CBSE to lower it down, but CBSE did not lower it down. Then there are changes of CMMI levels, like how CMMI level was changed from 5 to 3. The time frame was also changed. The time frame of corrupt practices were halved. Collusion was made easier. Then there were project criteria changes. All this show a pattern. It shows a pattern that TCS, which is an industry giant, was not preferred. But Coempt was preferred. Coempt is works with a very fragmented group of institutions, and Coempt was preferred over TCS. And all of this shows that CBSE, all of this points to the fact that CBSE rewrote the rules to favor Coempt Eduteck.